What's up, everyone? This is SojuTalk, your weekly shot of K-pop. We're coming at you with a super spicy episode 324, and we're recording on April 14th, 2025. I'm Doug, and joining me today we got Warren.
Hey, what's up, everybody?
And Anita.
Hello.
As a quick reminder, check out SojuTalk on your favorite podcast platform, sub to us on YouTube, join the SojuTalk Discord, and be a part of the nation. We've had a lot of people joining the SojuTalk Discord lately, especially this week, because in the Afterhours segment this week, we are doing the Red Velvet Soju Bomb Part 1, where we're going to cover 10 of their earlier songs. We are not going to cover every single Red Velvet song, but we picked 10 of the most significant ones in the beginning half of their career. And that's what we had the nation score, and we scored. And let's see what people scored these songs. It's very exciting.
I'm very curious.
Off the top of my head, there was over 600 scores that occurred.
Oh, wow.
That's average of 60 per song. So at least 60 people participated in this, which is great turnout.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.
Yeah. Big new releases. I am wearing the poo-poo ass hat today. Is that indicative of the songs? We'll have to see. Well, the first, we have XG in the Rain. We have Eunbi with Hello Stranger. Oh wait, we switched this order. NCT Wish with Pop Pop, and then we have Eunbi with Hello Stranger. Those are the three songs we are covering this week. I also want to address that there were some peoples who were clamoring for us to cover the Kepler Yum Japanese track. The reality of the situation, or historically, we cover we give preference to Korean title tracks or English tracks as well. So unfortunately, it was not up for contention. That being said, I did listen to it. It's a fun song, but that is why it is not being covered. Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
All right, let's start with XG in the Rain. They are from XGALX. Last three songs is This Love, Howling, and If You Know, You Know. Someone, one out of the three of us, said something spicy about this song before we even started talking, before we even started recording. That was a very...
Spoiler alert, please. Jeez, like, I haven't said anything yet. What the hell?
Someone said...
You can't spoil my shit like that.
Someone said, "Can you name a worse? Can you name a worse XG track?" Was what someone said.
Okay,
I said it. Fighting words, are they not?
Okay, we're beating around the bush. I am the bush. That sounds a little weird to say. Okay, maybe I was a little too spicy. I don't know if In the Rain is literally their worst song to date. I don't know if that's the case, but to me, I think it's solidly in the bottom tier for XG. Is that a little bit more fair? Maybe a little more acceptable?
Well, here's the thing, right?
Okay.
Yeah.
It's not that I don't disagree with you too much. It's in the lower half for sure.
Oh.
Like,
But?
No, okay. The vocals are good. No, there's no but. I agree. I kind of agree with Warren on that.
I'm glad we're on the same page. Y'all said I
wasn't just gonna throw you out there to die.
Okay.
I will say this. I feel like the bar to me is so high with XG that even what we would consider to be like on the lower half is still pretty good. Like, it's still a really good song. Or do you disagree?
I don't disagree, I guess. Like, I would... Okay. We're gonna skip ahead a little bit. I'm not gonna give In the Rain a fucking 3 or a 4. You know what I mean? Like, it is not gonna be as low as that. Because, I do agree with you. The average XG song has been very high on the scale so far. Just to me, if I had to line up all the XG songs, this is solidly in the lower tier. Okay, let me get into why, right? Like, I think it's a pretty standard modern R&B track. It has a couple callbacks to the Y2K R&B era. There's like these guitar melodies. Even the rain motif, I felt like was very Y2K. The commitment to the British suits, like the Kingsman kind of things. That kind of concept felt very Y2K. I'm sure people love that though, you know what I mean? Like, I'm not the audience for it, but like, you know what I mean? Like, I'm assuming one of us liked it. I didn't, but someone...
I did.
Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah. But like, even down to like the water on the ground, it felt very. It felt like it was replicating the 2000s R&B formula a lot, without doing a proper check-in in terms of like whether this fits XG. And I think, you know, like it's not particularly terrible in that aspect. It's just, I don't know if it was the best utilization of the members. Like, for example, like having the rappers do trade one-liners off of each other, that might have worked in a song like Puppet Show, for example, but here where the pacing is a lot slower and like I question whether we need a rap section to begin with. I was like, I don't know if it works really well here. It is to their benefit and to their weakness that they have a member like Harvey, who has a very unique voice. Sometimes she brings so much value as a single person to the group. In this track, I think, I don't know, her voice kind of stands out a little bit, especially for this kind of mood. Maybe that's a personal thing. I don't know, but like, do I think the song is bad? No, it's just all right. You know what I mean? It feels a bit like a parody of Y2K R&B. That's all it is. You know what I mean?
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
I'm very on the fence about this track. Like, you know, the bass pieces of this track is, you know, they're very good at singing. So the singing sounds good, right?
The vocals
on a bass level.
Showing off, yeah.
But at the same time, it was a little boring, to be fair. And I also thought the choreo was kind of, like, the choreo compared to other XG stuff, even giving the fact it's a slow song, I thought it was like, oh, okay, you know? I wasn't really impressed or anything, to be honest. Because like, what do you like? At one point they have like the umbrella, they flip it once, and then they just like change hands a couple times, right, with the umbrella, and I'm like, okay, right? Like, I don't think there's too much to get from that. I think it's nice melodic, but it's like, there are a lot of slow songs. We're going to get to the Revelvet section. There are some slower velvety songs which you go, oh shit, right? This is amazing. This ain't one of those songs though, for me. You know, it's there, it's fun. I wouldn't even call it fun. It's there, it's moody, it's doing its job, but it's I don't think we're like bursting through any walls with this one.
Yeah, it really felt like this, to me, this isn't title track material. Some of XG's tracks sometimes lean a little more experimental in terms of like whether it's the right marketing choice to push as a lead track. To me here, I don't know. This feels like something I would see in an album near the third quarter, fourth quarter, you know, like the latter half of it, or an EP, you know, track number 4 before you go into the final hurrah, that kind of thing. It's not particularly bad by any means. It's just not something I feel like I'm ever going to return to, you know?
I need to tell us why we're wrong. And let us know why we're wrong.
We've been doing these the whole time.
Well, the thing is, I guess the things that you point out are the things that I thought like, oh, I thought that was kind of cool. Like, for example, to me, the choreography, the concepting of the music video, I agree. I think it has some callback to a typical, maybe almost stereotypical R&B type of slow song, like the rain, like the floor in the water, the water in the floor and all that. I think that makes sense. But I also felt that to me, it's something that I thought it's new for XG, because I don't think they've done something similar to that. They've done a bit of a darker concept, like Tippy Toes was kind of a darker concept, and I don't know, I felt like this was highlighting something a little bit different for them, instead of just a very like high energy rap focused performance, like high energy performance focus, I would say. I thought this had something a little different. I thought it was nice. I thought the styling was also very, very nice, in the sense that when you think of R&B for girl groups or like for female soloists, I don't think they usually tend to go too much for this look, for the suits and like the dancing in the rain type of thing. So it felt like, oh, okay, we're doing a bit of like mixing up what you might expect from a male artist in that era, something like that. I don't know. I thought it was cool how they were kind of pulling from different aspects, but kind of switching it up a little bit. So I thought that was nice. I think they had some really great shots in the choreography, because I thought they could have made it very like static, but they moved the camera a lot. They like aerial shots and then shots from close-ups and then back again. I don't know. I thought it was cool. They also had a couple of shots in like the indoor set where they never like focused directly on, I think it was Judy, and it was her solo part. And I thought they were going to pan to her, and they never did. And then they just pan again to the side to, I think was, who was it? Maya. I think it was Maya. I just thought like there were some very interesting shot directions where I thought like, oh, this still reminds you like, okay, this is an interpretation of that. It's not trying to be a direct copy, in my opinion. So I thought that was nice. I will agree in the sense that this song it feels like it's an extra. Like it doesn't feel like it was meant to be like a huge main event. And maybe that's also because I know that this was already performed on the tour. It's been released for a bit. It's not a new song. So it feels like it's extra content that's coming now because of the tour that they're doing. So I feel like that makes sense. Maybe why it doesn't feel as main event. But I thought it was still pretty nice. I think I'm always glad to hear them focusing on the vocals, because I think sometimes they don't get enough attention. Yeah.
I think that's kind of fair. This doesn't feel like this doesn't feel like a song I would see on like a music show or such, because particularly that
right.
Given I know they're on tour. On the other hand, like I don't keep up with XG in terms of like what they're performing in tour and what has been released through their tour and what hasn't. So like from that perspective, it just feels like, oh, XG is releasing another song leading up to whatever Million Places is gonna end up being. It's just, I don't know. It felt like I almost thought that this is supposed to be a B-side for Million Places, which is set to release next month. Especially given they dropped Is This Love a month ago. So like right now they're dropping a song every month leading up to this tour schedule. On one hand I do feel like is that super particularly necessary? I don't know. Is that not unnecessary? I guess there's a positive benefit. I'm trying to. Obviously, I don't know the cost of of releasing these songs, time and money wise. So I can't really say whether it's worth it. But
I think the benefit, just inherently, if they can fork the bill of it, is just that more fan content for the fans.
Yeah.
I think it's always a good thing.
If I see it from the perspective of someone who maybe was not able to go to one of the shows, who was not going to the tour performance, you're still getting content from the songs that were performed there, but have not been like.
Oh.
Okay. They are released, but like you know what I mean. Like you still get to see what the audience got to see at the show to some extent.
It's in a
different context.
Right. You're having these songs be a little more accessible rather than having these pirate versions float around YouTube. No, I get that. I think that's
fan
good.
counts. Yeah.
I don't know. The other part of me that I'm not still fully convinced on is that you mentioned that this didn't feel like it was copying, and more so XG giving their own take on the early 2000s Y2K R&B kind of music. And I guess I don't disagree with that, but at the same time, like it really felt like it didn't really feel like XG was adding anything of their own to the table. Whereas in the past, whenever they do a trap inspired song or like a pop inspired song, it felt like they had. The ones that didn't really hit either. Like I'm trying to think of what's the name. Woke Up was the one track where leaned very heavy into the hip hop aspect of this group's spectrum, and it really kind of felt that track I wasn't a super spicy fan of. I don't know. I think if you like this kind of aesthetic and if you like XG, I think there are positive takeaways to have. But otherwise, I'm not really sure exactly what XG is bringing to the table. I guess you did mention that it's rare for girl groups to put on a suit and do some of these more masculine concepts in within R&B. So I guess that's pretty cool. Not gonna lie.
Well, yeah, I guess I saw more of their flair, the XG vibe in the performance, like the music video and like the choice in some of the choreography and styling. In the song itself, I do agree. I don't think it's anything like super new to the genre or like mixing something different. I guess I saw more of their personality as a group in the performance itself.
Yeah. I do think the music video was pretty neat though. Like my feeling towards the concept side, like it was probably the best video of the week for me.
Oh,
It's spicy.
interesting.
Okay.
Let me get spicy. I was thinking I've been simmering over here.
I don't think I agree, but I respect it.
I've been listening to you guys like being tepid about the song, like, and he's like, it's good, they're doing that. Or it's like, it's an R&B song with good. This shit's only good because it's XG doing it. Honestly, let's be honest here. If there was another group, the other ass group over here singing this song over here, I would say this shit's boring AF. Let's be honest. Let's be completely honest here. I was thinking about it. I was like, why do I even like this? Because it's XG and you like XG, dog. But is the song good? I'm like, it's good if I'm trying to fall asleep, I guess, a little bit.
Okay,
No.
Really?
Let's clarify. Are you saying it's the personality of XG that's carrying the song, or are you saying it's the vocal capabilities of XG that's carrying the song?
I think it's the supreme talent of these kids that's carrying the song.
Okay.
I think the song's choice selection, the song itself, the choreography, all of it's just like a little bit bland. And I don't think you guys really disagree with me all too much on that.
I think that's kind of what I've been saying, and like,
Right? Like,
I guess I didn't see it as bland. I just thought that it was a choice for the, I don't know what to call it,
Right.
not the discography, but like for the output they're doing, right? Like, I thought it was interesting.
let me do what I do best and use a food analogy.
What is
I
it?
think it's well salted and there's a bit of black pepper on it. No other spices. No garlic.
I agree.
No cumin.
I agree with you.
No
I agree with
parsley. Just the fucking salt and pepper. And you know what? It is very well peppered and salted. It is a good level. I will give you that. But
So if you're not like looking for something like super spicy, like life changing.
no, but like I put garlic
right.
in all of my food.
let me put it this way. They did a slow R&B song. It's called In the Rain. Like, you could have a cool dance sequence in the rain during the instrumental part, right? They're just lollygagging with the umbrella. Like, to be completely honest, there are many artists in the past who have done R&B songs, like Usher and other people, and they do whip out these, like, even during R&B songs, they whip out these really interesting, cool dance breaks in the rain. This song, they like, at one point, they just have the umbrella stuck in the ground and they're moving left and right for like 10 seconds. I don't think that's interesting.
Okay, you know what? Okay, I want to present a potential solution. Here's what you do. You film the music video again. Have you guys seen Street Women Fighter episode 7? Or do you know the man that goes by the name Wet Boy?
No.
Yes.
Get Wet Boy. Get him on. Get him on. The
No,
video.
that's not the vibe. I
He's a
don't
great
think,
dancer, and he does well in the rain. Is all I can say. So
I guess what I'm trying to say is, Anita probably doesn't agree with this, but what I'm saying is, like, just because the song's called In the Rain, we don't have to make it gloomy like we're actually in the rain. You know what I mean? You know that feeling you get on a rainy day where, like, oh, the pressure's heavy today, right? And you just kind of feel like everything's kind of dreary. I don't think we needed to make it this dreary.
Do you think it was too what's the word? Predictable? Is that what you're trying to say then? Too
A little bit.
I agree with that. And the thing is, like, I think it's great. Don't get me wrong. I think they made the right choices where they needed to make the right choices. They had a In the Rain song. That's perfect for R&B. What do we do visually? Oh, let's have them dance in the water. I feel like they made the reasonable choice for all of these options. Now, with the result, you end up with a song where you just made a very safe, predictable decision with every little decision point you have to make. And that's, I feel like that's pretty, that's, you know what I mean? Like, you start asking ChatGPT, I have an R&B song. What concept should I give it? At one point, it'll spit out, let's make a song about rain, and then, eventually, what do I put for a music video? Oh, you should.
I'm not even disappointed. I'm happy that they're spreading their horizons, but at the end of the day, it's not like I think. And to be fair, I'm not gonna think every song from specifically XG is gonna be like amazing, right? And I don't think there's no expectation to think every song is gonna be amazing. Some of them are just gonna be there, and for me, this one's just there.
Okay, I think that's fair. I think that's a fair place to put it.
Right, like, yeah. But you might really like R&B, and this might be your shit, and you're completely entitled to that too, right? So that's where I stand with this one. Okay.
Okay.
Let me pivot. NCT Wish Pop. They are from SM. Last 3 songs: Steady, Songbird, and Wish. They are the unit that's supposed to be the Japan unit for NCT. They're composed of like 4 Japanese kids, 2 Korean kids, but they actually have more Korean singles than Japanese singles at this point, which is weird in itself. I don't know. That's yes, on paper, I believe they do.
Oh,
which is kind of interesting to food for thought. We could talk about that later. We got this song here, right?
Yes.
I shouldn't go first. Anita, how do you feel?
That's not a good start. We'll see. Maybe I'm not the best person to. Well, maybe I don't know. I think I'm a little biased to this aesthetic. I'll start with that. Good. I think NCT Wish has had a very fresh, youthful, visual concept going on, and this is very much continuing that. I think this is even more highlighted in this music video, I would say. I feel like they'd really push that in this one. And I like that. I liked what they did with the color palette, the graphics, a lot of the editing they did. They added like characters. There's this star character that shows here and there in the music video. I thought that was really cool. The chorus, though, I think the chorus is what really affected my perspective of the song and my enjoyment, I guess. Where the chorus relies a lot on very a shouty.
It's shouty and chanty.
Yeah, shouty, chanty, and a lot of repetition of the word pop.
Feeling go pop, feeling go pop. 처음에 봤는데 뭐처럼 pop. 그럼 이런 내민 해설이 pop. Feeling go pop, feeling go pop. Feeling go pop, feeling go pop.
Exactly. At some point, I felt like, I think we overused it. I think we went a little too far.
It's the way they say it too.
I would say that.
It's the delivery, I think, too.
I think, because to be honest, I was having a good time in the verses, the pre-chorus. I thought it was it made sense. It was fine. It's really just the chorus for me, where it's the shouty, chanty parts, and then the repetition of pop as the keyword.
Did you like the second part of it? The chorus?
The second part I didn't mind either.
Pop,
I think
pop, that part.
Honestly, that part I thought made the most sense when it was paired with more of a Jersey beat at the end. So they do the chorus. They do a different iteration of the chorus in the last bit of the song, like the last couple seconds, I want to say. And to me, that made the most sense because they changed the beat a little bit for that chanty part. And then the pop part at the end also changes a little bit. Has I think it's more of a Jersey beat.
Yeah.
To me, that last iteration made the most sense. And it kind of, I don't know, it made it to me a little bit easier to digest. Whereas the first time and I think the second time you hear it's a little, I don't know, to me it was like, oh, that's a little much, I think. that repetition and then the chanty shouting part.
All right. I'm not gonna reiterate how I feel about the chorus because I think you hit most of the points. I think the lyrics are kind of weird too to begin with. Like pop like fireflies in the early summer. Fireflies don't pop. Wait, what?
I would hope not.
No. Pop like the rain that is sitting between the blocks? What? I'm sorry. I don't know what this means. And I speak Korean. So there you go. Hey, I agree. I don't like the chorus either. So we'll leave that there. Let's talk about Jersey because the song relies heavily on this Jersey rhythm. The pump, 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 pump. We all know that rhythm by now. K-pop does this thing where we like to pick up trendy genres and incorporate it into our sound, whatever's popping off at the moment. Oh, sorry, pun not intended. We like to incorporate the trendy genres into our sound and just, kind of keep chugging along. Sometimes we borrow an artist's aesthetic. Sometimes we borrow entire genres, like we do different things. With Jersey, what was really interesting to me was that K-pop saw it as an alternative to like house rhythm and just started plugging it in to all of these fucking songs, whether it be dark or bright or like upbeat or downbeat. I don't know, they just started plugging it everywhere. Pump, 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 pump. You know what I mean? And it became a very overused rhythm in like all of this K-pop scene. I started noticing people were sick of it 1 year in to this kind of trend, which I don't know, maybe it's our attention span is just getting shorter and shorter, but like I felt like that was very quick. I felt like that was very fast for like a trend dying out so quickly. Now, Pop is an example of a song where I would say where they just decided to plug in this Jersey rhythm and just have it, hope it works. The only thing that's Jersey about this song, other than the kick drums, is the beaky, the bed squeak effect that is very popular in this aesthetic of music. And that's about it.
I heard it.
That's about it, really. It really felt like, for the most part, it was a bubblegum pop song, and then, they do one of those like synth brass heavy boom kind of choruses. And then after that, they were like, okay, how can we change it up? Oh, I know, we'll do the Jersey thing because that's big right now, where actually it's not really that big anymore, or the audience, well, actually, I have kind of moved on from this being that kind of formula. So you end up with a situation where like the song sounds not particularly dated, but like also not really like up to date either. And I feel like that is very noticeable in the member performances as well. Now, as far as I understand, NCT Wish isn't a very rap-heavy group. That's my understanding. For some reason, they decided to rap the chorus, rap the entire second verse into the bridge.
Yeah.
And I don't know. To me, it really felt like K-pop rap from like 16, 17 years ago, where we had rap from Super Junior and SHINee sort of thing. And what I'm trying to say there, if you're not familiar with like second, third generation K-pop rap, is that it's not good. It rather feels like you're reading a textbook in class. That's the diction I'm getting. Which sometimes that's not the worst thing in the world, but like where it was most noticeable as a weakness to me is the intro, where they do 오늘만 여는 candy store 한 사람만 꼭 기다려 온. It's read in a very monotone voice with a bunch of autotunes sitting there, and I was like, is this like Rebecca Black Friday? Like, what is going on here? It was like, I felt like it was a very not good way to begin the song. The rest of the verses were fine. It was very passable, but like as a first impression, I felt like that was not the greatest moment. So with all that sitting in the background, once you get to the chorus, where it's like lemonade 톡 톡 일속에 팝 블록사이 go in 빗물이 팝, which like, come on, like that top line doesn't work either. Like rhythmatically, you're just plugging out, you're saying syllables twice to make it work in that rhythmatic structure. I don't know, man. This feels like a weaker song from SM in general, not just NCT Wish to me. Yeah,
Can I make a take?
Sure.
I got a take.
Yeah.
Okay.
I want to preface this. This is not me judging them for this. This is just my observation. My take is NCT Wish, at least on this track, this era, has more of a girl group concept than Hearts to Hearts does.
Okay, I was gonna say that too, because to me, this aesthetic they have.
It's like a girl group. Am I wrong? They have a glitter seance going on, right?
No, I think. How should I say it? I think there have been some boy groups, like I'm thinking of To Us, right?
Yeah.
Who has kind of gone that route too, like the more youthful
they have like a
vibe.
high school teen vibe. Yeah.
Yeah. Whereas here, I feel like
boy vibe. Yeah, church boy.
They have church boy. Kickflip is like the kids on the block, you know, the street kids who are riding their skateboards, right?
Right.
Yes. I skipped out on church boy core. Yes.
So I need to keep going with this NCT Wish.
No. I feel like this visual aesthetic felt very and I don't know if the song did too, maybe by correlation, but it felt like very or maybe just more, how should I say it? Like it felt very much like more similar to what I would expect a rookie girl group to do now. If that makes sense.
Okay, Anita, I was towing that same line. How do I say this? Because I'm.
But I don't mind it. To be fair, I don't mind it.
And I'm not trying to offend anyone.
This.
It's just my observation. I guess Anita came to the same observation too, right? Once I saw like the glittery hand with the heart on it, and then he picked it up and ate it, and then they pan out. They're at a seance, like a attic seance, which I would kind of think like New Jeans or Islet to do, right? I was like, wow, this concept is essentially like a bubblegum rookie girl group concept, but a guy rookie group's doing it, right? That's how I kind of felt.
To be honest, I don't mind that.
It's interesting. It's interesting. Like if I was in this group, I'm one of these kids, and they're telling me to do this concept, I'd be like, okay, I guess. You know, we're doing a glitter sleepover all of a sudden. It could be fun, I guess.
I think the concept of it works. Like if you look at the average age of these kids, like it's not. They're kind of young. Like, don't get me wrong. There are younger groups for whatever godfuck reason, but like this group leans young, so like it's not the craziest thing in the world.
Yeah. But the reason I brought up the concept and why I thought it was a big talking point is because they're doing this kind of concept while they're trying to make the front half of the front half of the chorus rap heavy, and for me that dichotomy doesn't work too well.
Oh,
you get what I'm saying? Like
it didn't fit.
It didn't fit for me. A little bit the vibe there.
I think this is a bit of a hot take. I think that dichotomy could work, and I think you're gonna disagree with me, but I think an example of where it works is Love 119 by Rise.
Oh,
fine.
Which also had a very chanty chorus on top of a very melodic sample. You guys were like, this doesn't fit. It's very grating. But I was like, I kind of like this kind of contrast. Now, the thing about Love 119 by Rise is they didn't lean as heavy into the rap thing. And if anything, a lot of it was stacked vocals. So like it felt like everyone was chanting together. You know what I mean?
I prefer that. Yes, I prefer that over a singular person delivering their line like that.
Right. And I think the concept of it was really cool. It's just, if I sit there, listen to this in the studio, I would probably be like, okay, I don't know. Creatively, bad decision. Not fit for this group. Let's try something else. You know what I mean? Like, I don't know. Like, the coke that pops because it burned under the sunlight, I don't know. Like, poetically, that doesn't add much value to me either. I don't know, man. Like,
here's going back to the chanting between Love 119 and this one. At least Love 119, it felt like it does kind of work in a way. Back to my heart, that girl's a killer. Dun, dun, right? It kind of makes sense, right? But this one, it kind of seems like I wouldn't call them prodding, but it's the delivery for me. The way they deliver the lines, like it's a little bit trolly on purpose. It's like da 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 da, right? That's how they're essentially delivering these lines.
Feeling old pop.
And something about that for me, I was just like, am I being trolled here a little bit? You know what I mean? Like I know they might have been going for like, oh, we're like these angsty kids, so we're just gonna deliver the lines like this. But for me, I don't think it worked. That's I think where I end up.
The thing is, ironically, if you speed this up a whole bunch and chop it up a little further, this is what I would call this is like a very standard thing for like drill beats. You know what I mean? Like poppop, like having a very having a very front heavy flow is like very common in like drill music. Like if you listen to Swoosh Flow by Changmo, or like I don't know, I can't think of any non-Korean examples off the top of my head for whatever reason, but like having these very front loaded flows and having a very light back is like very common in that genre. It's just here you end up with a lot more space for whatever reason, because the song is it's a lot slower than what drill would be, because it's based on Jersey. And I don't know, it's a little awkward is kind of the word I would say.
I liked the verses, even like the rap section in the middle, and I thought the singing was very SME and good,
The
like
bridge.
as
The
they
bridge
do.
was
The
nice.
bridge was good. I thought there were a lot of components here that I thought worked, but then I just can't overlook the chorus, and it sucks because I really liked the more beat heavy second half of the chorus a lot. I thought that was cool,
too.
and I thought we would have start repeating that and do some kind of cool like maybe like an intense dance break or something with that beat a lot more. But it just kind of went away, and we never saw it again until the chorus came back. We just like played into it for like 2 bars, and we're like, that's enough of that, right?
Yeah.
This is a confusing song. This week's a lot of confusing songs for me. I listened to them all day, and I was just like, I don't know how I feel. I think it could have worked, but I just don't think it got all the way there.
I think the song will definitely work for folks who are into this new found bubblegum boy group. I go to church on Sundays boy group core. You know what I mean? Like I think
they're calling it Wish. They're calling it Wish core in the comments of certain places.
Core.
Wish
Yeah.
you can't do that. Come on.
Well, they are. That's what they're trying to. They're trying to do it.
Nah, guys. That's a lawsuit waiting to happen. We know it. Like, no, guys, you can't. All right. Did the feeling go pop, guys?
I don't know.
It did at certain parts, but I don't think all the way.
Yeah. There's sections.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's about it with this pop-up track.
Yeah, honestly, they could have it's like NCT Wish, and you know who else is very like a lot of they do a lot of fan servicey shots in this music video too.
Yeah.
And like who else is it? Zero Base One too. They should have a competition. Who could have the more fan servicey music video? I think that would be amazing for them to do. I don't know. It's a confusing track. Let's just pivot though. We got Eunbi. She's one of the last survivors at Woollim Entertainment. Last 3 songs were Sabotage, The Flash, and Underwater. She is back with a new title track called Hello Stranger. I was the first off the top. In 2025, aren't strangers more terrifying than ever? Like maybe it's just me, but in like the post-COVID era, it's like dude, stranger danger, right? But this song's not about that. This is like I don't give a shit. This is a cool stranger. I'm really down for that. The best way to describe this track, it's an Eunbi song, right?
Oh. Yeah.
Anita, don't act like you're surprised. It's literally an Eunbi track.
I mean, I'll say this. She has done this before, if that's what you mean. She has
done this
explored
one-
this sound before.
She's explored this about 4 times.
Yeah.
Right? Like, for better or for worse, whether you want Eunbi to do something else or you like what Eunbi does, they've chosen this path, and Kukajiganda, they're gonna go to the end with this path. It seems, right?
I do think this rolls up all the way back up to Rumor by Produce 48. Remember that?
Okay. Yes.
Oh.
Which I think is a great song.
Yeah. Rumor's great. It's I wasn't the biggest fan of it when it dropped. Maybe I was a little harsh on it. Rumor came around. She played a very similar role in Lavion Rose, which I think was the highlight of her IZ*ONE career. Not saying she has bad moments. I just think that was the best moment for her. And then once you get into her solo stuff, she started experimenting very early on, Door, Glitch. And eventually she was like, you know what? No, I'm just going to do festival-ready pop music, Go straight into...
That's what it is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. And this is also what it is. Now, if I had to pull out differences, this is a lot more Afro pop heavy. It's, it's got that latest trend in there. You remember what I said about, trends being plucked out to be plugged right back into the K-pop formula. I would say this does the same thing with like Afro pop. Not that I think it does a bad job either. I think the chorus where she belts upwards very quickly and then
I was impressed by that.
That was good.
That sounds hard to do.
Yeah. That sounds, I don't know about you guys. I thought that was the highlight of the entire song. If not the highlight of the week for me. Not that the rest of the song was like particularly memorable, if I'm completely honest, but I don't know. It parts of it worked, and we know what Eunbi is really good at, and I think this is one of the things that she's really good at, that she's willing to do over and over again. Is it getting a little old? Maybe, but like,
okay. So here's my PhD dissertation on Eunbi and her career and Woolim and what they're doing.
Okay,
right,
all right.
My analysis of Eunbi as an artist and what Woolim's doing and what she's doing with her career is they are like they all the songs, the last like Hello Stranger, Sabotage, The Flash, Underwater, right? That run since late 2022 till now, right?
Yeah.
We're essentially releasing like cousins or distant relatives of like a same type of song, right? They're in the same family, right? These type of songs. Mm-hmm. They've decided to live or die by the quality of the individual releases. Where I think Sabotage was bad, I think this one's pretty good, right? But we're still in the same phylum, the family tree, genus, whatever you want to call it, right? in your biology class. I do have a biology major, apparently. I do. Like, it's shocking, but I do.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
They're living or dying by like the quality of the individual songs within the same tree, right? Mm-hmm. I don't know why we're doing that, but they are. I think this time it worked because I think this one's pretty good. It's fun. The chorus is good. She's gonna sing it well. It's gonna be fun at the water bomb, right? I think it's all gonna work. So that's fine. Mm-hmm. I just don't know why, though. Why we need the pigeonhole. I just don't get it.
Do you not know? Really?
I feel like,
let's be honest.
I think there is an answer.
There is an answer. We know the answer, dog.
Let me know the answer then.
She's in Woolim. The funds are limited. We gotta do what makes the money. Makes the money.
What I don't understand is, now that we're whatever years post IZ*ONE, right? However long it's been, like 4 years since then, right?
Yeah.
In my head, when I think of what does IZ*ONE sound like, right? A lot of the sounds, the sound images in my head, in my thoughts, is like Eunbi singing a lot of these choruses, right? I don't get why at any point in the last like 4 years since IZ*ONE ended, people at Woolim, Eunbi herself, maybe one of her friends told her, you guys should just get the producers who worked on some of the IZ*ONE classics, and then we'll make some new songs that are like somewhat IZ*ONE adjacent. And you could sing the choruses because it worked then, it'll work again. And I think that would be so much of a better formula than what we're doing right now.
Should I look up who worked on this track?
Sure. But at least you get what I'm saying, right? Like,
I see your point. I mean, I guess people never know why they decide to make certain production decisions.
Yeah, we can't really.
I don't know if it's money. I don't know if it's timing. I don't know if it's like personal preference. But
Yeah, honestly, especially with a
It's a
company
safe
like
choice.
Woolim.
Right now, it's a safe choice.
Yeah, it's
for
a safe
her.
choice. I get it.
It's a safe choice. We know Woolim is under not great financial situations. They wrapped up 3 contracts within a month.
Eesh.
They,
Yeah.
they
I guess I'm just venting my frustrations with Eunbi's career. To be
And I
completely
share
honest.
that. I
share
agree
that
because
too. Yeah.
she has the talent, the vocal range.
The fact of the matter is, in order to be a successful artist in this market, I personally think you gotta do 2 things really well. One is you gotta find your niche, and 2, you gotta find something that works for the larger audience. And this goes back to what we always say: you gotta resonate with the general population, but you also gotta resonate with your fans. You gotta build a core fandom. You gotta do both of those things. If you look at successful fandoms, successful groups, they do both really well. BTS, Red Velvet, Twice, Blackpink, all these friggin' groups, they do both really well. I think to which degree differs group to group, type of group they are, type of artist. But I think it doesn't change with K-pop. In at the end of the day, I think it also applies to Eunbi as well. The issue is, she found her early on. They tried different things. Let's go back, right?
Glitch.
I liked Glitch.
We liked Glitch. Nobody else did. That's the issue.
That's true.
That's nobody else did.
That's true.
Well, that's the thing because it was too niche. It was too specific to a certain audience. It wasn't general public friendly then.
But like the counter argument is, like, for example, is aespa dropping the most general public friendly songs? Go back to Savage. You know what I mean? Like, she's in a situation where she has limited funds for promotion. She doesn't have the ability to take risks at her current management situation.
Yeah, that's
with the direction. You know what I mean? We're in a bit of a pigeonhole without a proper way to get out. You know what I mean?
That's honestly fair.
I think, again, I don't want to just complain without providing a potential solution. So I'm thinking, okay, if I'm Eunbi, if I am Woolim, what can I do? We gotta start showcasing the different aspects of Eunbi that she's really good at. I don't know how to do that. I'm trying to think.
Yeah, I guess I'm just dooming a little bit because like even her wiki, like her Namu wiki, is not updated for the Stranger song.
No, it's not.
Which is kind of shocking, to be honest, right? Like, I don't know. Like, when we're talking about things on the podcast and we're like, Warren says something specific or it's something I gotta look up the history of. Like, I go to Namu Wiki, which has, pretty much most of these Korean artists like full. It's like Wikipedia, but even better for K-pop artists. It's way more detailed. And like, I'm looking at Eunbi's at the top of her thing. They have a discography thing. It's not even up here, which is like the first time that's ever happened. I think when I've looked up an artist while we were on the pod.
The thing with Namu Wiki, let's talk about Namu Wiki for a second, because it's typically the fans that are updating these. It's first of all, it goes in the order of it's typically the fans. Then it's the people who edit all of Namu Wiki for whatever fuck reason, and they're like always doing formatting updates, that kind of thing. And then after that, it's actually the management folks who want information to be accessible easily, readily, because Namu Wiki is very popular, very popular in Korea. But the issue is, if it's not updated, it essentially means nobody in those 3 groups bothered to do it for whatever reason. And typically the 3rd layer is the backup layer, but the backup layer isn't functioning. Why? Because the company isn't properly functioning, once again. And here's the thing.
Unfortunately, yeah.
Here at SojuTalk, we are very well aware that the mid-tier is dying.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
We have a very richer gets richer and poorer gets poorer kind of a situation. Oh, damn. It reminds me of my real life right now. We have a situation.
Bro, have you looked at your 401k lately?
We don't talk about those. No. Don't mention it. We live in a situation where if you're in a large label with a lot of funding, you get to have a lot of opportunities, cool music videos, cool visuals, cool songs.
Yeah.
And if you're not, you're slowly starting to run out of funds because you have lesser opportunities to promote regardless of quality or talent. Because at the end of the day, pop music works like that. at the end of the day, unfortunately, Woollim is one of those companies that, for whatever reason, decided, hey, we're not gonna suck it up to the big boys and just be a big boy. Try to be a big boy ourselves. I think I appreciate and respect that bravery. And you know what? At a certain degree, I thought it was a really good idea. And maybe given their history with like SM in the past, because they used to be a SM they used to have funding from SM in the past, SMCNC particularly.
Yeah.
Maybe it's because of that. I don't know. Woollim in particular is just not one of those companies that decided they're gonna stick to CJ or Kakao or one of these big companies. You know what I mean? So we're at this situation right now where we have artists to support. We don't have the infrastructure there. We don't have the funds there. It's I don't know. We gotta rely a little bit on the luck. We gotta rely a little bit on using our current strengths to build something more potentially. And what is Eunbi's unique strength? It is her presence right now. Right now, what is working is her presence on various festivals, including Waterbomb. So, from the company's perspective, it makes 100% to keep doing what works, because this plays to the unique value that Eunbi brings to the table. What is the unique value? It's that she went viral on fucking these festival shows for whatever reason. So, I don't know. It's not a good cycle we're in, but like it's not like I have a good. Can someone buy Woollim? Should he buy Woollim?
They will.
I mean, like, if you were going to buy a company right now, if you looked at the prospects of Woollim like doing well going forward, would you?
No.
See, that's the problem. It's unfortunate too. Because I guess I'm saying a lot of this. I guess I'm dooming a little bit because I'm a big Eunbi fan. Like ever since Eyes One back in the day, right? And I just see what's going on, and I'm like, the song's okay. Going back to the song, it's fine for the type of music she releases, but let's just say the song is fine, but I don't feel too hopeful. You know what I mean? After listening to it, in terms of trajectory and what we're doing, right? Like I don't know. Like at least I see Yena on like interviews and stuff, and people were saying like, Yena, when are you gonna stop doing cute questions? And she goes, why should I stop? I like what I'm doing. And I'm like, God, there you go, Yena. You tell everyone to shut up, right? Damn. But like when I look at Eunbi's trajectory and I look at the type of music Eunbi's doing, I'm like, oh, I get it. I get, like, as Warren explains this, and I'm like, I get why then, I completely understand why they're doing this. But like, it's like, yeah, I'll go like, oh, why?
They didn't have to.
Yeah. It's tough. It's tough out here in the streets, right?
It's not easy. It's not easy. But let's take the song for what it is. I really love the chorus. The music video is a little nauseating. I'm not gonna lie. It's just...
Okay, yes. Let's talk about this as well. We did have a side discussion about this.
Yeah, it's cut very frequently with a lot of movements.
Yeah.
I don't know. I was eating dinner while I was watching it. I did not have a good time.
So, Warren's saying the editing's pretty frantic throughout this music video. Also, like after the slow build in the intro, there's very few Eunbi close-ups anymore. It's just a lot of frantic cuts and a lot of wide shots as well. To the point where, like, if you didn't know who Eunbi was before you listened to this track, you would probably have a hard time identifying who she is, like when she appears on a variety show after the fact, I think. Which I think is a bit of a shame, because like
quite dark.
These solo tracks are a great opportunity to be like, this is the person, But this editing is really frantic a lot of the times.
The positive takeaway in terms of their potential funding situation is that the music video looks a little bit more expensive than the last time we got a Eunbi music video. And I'm not talking about Snow Is Coming featuring Kugi. I'm talking about the one that came before it. I think it was
Sabotage.
Yes.
Yeah.
where something about Sabotage in particular felt like it was. I don't know. Sabotage looks fine. I don't know. Maybe.
No. Sabotage, they essentially rented an auditorium and filmed inside the lobby and outside. Like, essentially. I remember Sabotage was one of the few songs that last year, like, not only us, but SojuTalk Nation on the Discord, everyone was like, especially considering the Eunbi hype coming off of summer 2023, right? Uh-huh. Everyone was like, oh my god, she's gonna destroy 2024 summer. And then Sabotage came, and I remember people making the joke, well, they really sabotaged her with this one, you know? Yeah. I remember that joke going around. And I remember it being a little like, oh no. And then last year she did the water bomb run. She did a lot of water bombs, and it didn't feel like it got nearly as viral as it did in 2023, right? And now we're here. We're like 2 summers removed. We're going into the summer, removed from the initial water bomb hype. And she's scheduled to do most of the water bombs this year, almost all of them. So we'll see what happens, right?
Yep.
I'm a little concerned with where we're going. I am at the same time. I'm gonna sprinkle a couple more positive takeaways. She is doing a lot more like. She's doing like random like single cut releases here and there. Like I mentioned just earlier, she did a collab with Kugi. She did a project single sometime last summer. She's doing, albeit a little random, she's doing stuff here and there. To me, that feels like Woollim internally hasn't completely given up on her, which, I mean, they can't. They don't have a lot of profit streams at the moment. That's all I'll say. You know, like we're still going. They still want to go, and I appreciate the desire to. Does that make sense?
Yes. Yeah. Please support Eunbi. We need to help our girl here, right? We need some help.
Some funding.
Like I don't know, like this whole like non-top tier Darth we're in right now. It's like it's bad, right? Like I don't ever remember a time where the mid tier of K-pop was so weak, in my opinion. I'm not talking like weak artists or weak song, just like the overall feeling of the strength of how some of these lesser companies are doing right now, right? I don't think I've ever felt this weak.
I don't know. I think if I look back in history, like early 2000s, maybe, does that count? Where like back then every K-pop company
in the modern era, in the last 20 years or so.
Okay,
you know.
Okay.
Like back in the day, there were so many tiny ass companies, and it was fun, and they had these ridiculous groups and concepts and stuff, and they would sustain like for 5-7 years, right?
Yeah.
Now it's like you release a group, it fails in the first 2 tracks, they just can them, which is crazy.
Not viable.
Here you go. I used to joke about late stage capitalism hitting K-pop about 4 years ago. Now it's a reality. So there you go.
Yeah. Okay, I guess we doomed a little too much, but let's keep going, right? Let's keep going, guys. just hold on. We'll eventually talk about Red Velvet. Okay, we have a group. I don't even know how to pronounce this group. E5 is okay. They had a debut with Nerdy. We have Daesung with Universe, AMPERS&ONE with Kickstart, Want Us Gunny with I Just Want Love, Wib with Bang Out. We have Oh My Girl anniversary track, Oh My, Kang Daniel Miss Special. He seemed to have lost a lot of steam lately too. We have Next with Simmer, which is a pre-release. We have, I don't know how to pronounce this, Kiko, I would assume.
Kiko. Mm-hmm.
Kiko and Alexa with Vital Check. From 20 with Eye Candy. Aimers with Starry Night. QWER essentially made a Mountain Dew track.
Oh, wow.
Made a huge PPL Mountain Dew track. Good for them. They also collabed with Offline TV this past week on a snack video too.
Oh.
So they're becoming more mainstream to like, especially like a lot of Asians are watching Offline TV, right? So yeah, they had a full like episode with them. It were 2 weeks ago they had that video. And then 82 Major with Take Over. All right. Soju score. Last week, episode 321, we had Kai Adult Swim with 5.63. Zykers with Breathe 5.15. Artemis Byrne with a 6.14. Kai is now also the host. You remember B2B Chansup used to have that show where he goes to colleges and he pretends he's in a major? Kai is now hosting that show, by the way.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, they graduated Chansup and now it's Kai. He's running that show. The 3 songs this week we're gonna Soju score: XG In the Rain, Eunbi Hello, NCT Wish Pop. Okay. All right, the first song, XG In the Rain. So, Anita, what score do you think I'm gonna give this song? That's what
I don't know anymore. I was very surprised. Give it what you think it deserves.
Okay, so I've always said that XG's floor is extremely high, right? And I think that me and Warren going back to back probably made you think I think this song is poo ass. It's not. It's still a good song. I think I like it a little bit more than Warren. I give it a 6.
Okay, then that makes me feel a little better about my score because I think I like it a little bit more than you, so I give it a 7.
Okay, that's too much, Anita. You've gone too far.
What? I enjoyed this. I thought it was fun. I like the sound from them. I hope they explore it again in the future. Maybe something a little bit different. Maybe something not as how'd you say it? As expected.
Predictable.
Yeah, something more out of the box. Yeah, as predictable. Okay. Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, I already said it's not a 3, it's not a 4.
It's a 5.
It's a 5. So I do like it just a little bit less than Doug.
Well, SojuTalk Nation and Gochujang also voted. They gave it 6.67.
Okay, yeah.
Okay, nice. I think it's like a 6.5. Honestly, I think it's around there.
That's
and as a result, it receives 6.17.
All right.
Okay. Next one we have is NCT Wish Pop. Okay. I think this one's just aight. It's not. I'm giving it a 5, guys.
Okay.
I thought it was just okay. I don't think it was the worst thing in the world, but at the same time, I think they made some really weird decisions, like the delivery and things like that I just can't really overlook.
I think I'm gonna be this week a little bit more positive than you guys. I think because I gave this one a 6. Yeah, okay. I think the parts that I liked, I really liked, and the parts that bothered me a little did drag it down. But I ended up at a 6.
Oh boy, I'm gonna.
Oh, how bad is this one?
I'm gonna do that thing. I have a 3 this week with Switch.
Oh shit!
Wow.
I don't know. I thought the sound design is a little bit out of touch. Arrangement felt a little dated. Chorus is not good. The rap is not good. I don't know. I don't think this is something that I need to really recommend to anybody.
Hey.
So just Talk Nation and Gochujang about it. They gave it a 5.08.
Okay.
And as a result, it receives a 4.9.
Oh
my god.
That's like almost a 5. That's not the craziest number.
Yeah, 4.95. Finally, we have Eunbi with Hello Stranger. On a individual song level, I think this one's pretty good from Eunbi. Was I blown away? Out of the 3 songs this week, I did like this one the most, to be completely honest.
Did you? Okay.
I'm between a 7 or a 6, honestly. And I think that's a really biased score, in my opinion. But I kind of settled on a 6. I thought all the songs were just hey, this week. I wasn't really blown away by anything.
Okay, I actually landed on a 6 with this one too. I think maybe my expectation was too low, where I was pleasantly surprised that this had a little bit. I don't know. I feel like the production was a little better than the last release. I preferred this than the last release. And it's safe. It's safe, but it's not bad. So it's a 6.
Yeah, I agree. I think this is a little better than some of the other iterations you got of this aesthetic. Doug just putting in a 6 because I haven't said 6 yet, but I did give it a 6. It is what it is.
Oh, okay. I was just feeling the vibe.
Nah.
I felt the 6.
Yeah, nah. Full Satan today. You go, triple 6s here.
It just feels like a this is a 6.
Yeah.
Like I don't know how else it felt like a 6. Just like Nation also voted, it's a 6, guys.
It's a 6.
It's a 6.
6.24. Yes.
Yeah, and as a result, 6.0. Guys, it's a 6. It's a good song.
It's a good song.
Like, I think that's like, to me, when I listened to the track, I was like, this is one of the most obvious 6s ever. Like, I didn't even think too much for that one. I was like, it's okay.
This does feel like a dictionary level 6. You know what I mean? Like, it's good.
Yeah.
End of story. Period. Yeah.
Yeah, that was it. It's
This was
okay.
good.
As a result, XG in the range 6.17, NCT Wish Pop 4.95. We have Eunbi with Hello Stranger 6.06. You know, it seems like we had this period in March where it was popping off, right? Nmix, Jenny, Kiki, Hearts to Hearts, right? We had all these fun things. It feels like we're in a lull before the summer now, honestly.
It's okay. We'll be back. It's good. We're going to come back from this. Don't worry. Probably.
Yeah, but then like the people who are supposed to save summer Kiss of Life kind of made a big mistake, so we'll have to see.
Yeah, well.
Finally, we're at show winners, though. Anita, hit us with them.
Yeah, we have a couple. Talking about Jenny. Like Jenny, won in Show Music Core, so 5 total wins with that track. Congrats. Then we have Close Your Eyes. I'm not familiar with this group. They won with All My Poetry on the show and Music Bank, which was their first win ever. 2 wins so far. Congrats to them. Then we have J-Hope with Mona Lisa, 1 win on Amp Countdown, and then Neezy You with Love Line, another win on Show Champion. 1 win so far.
Yeah, so Close Your Eyes is a group that they won on Project 7, which was JTBC's survival show, right?
Oh, okay.
And I don't know if their company's buying views or whatever, but their music videos have a lot of views. Like
I will need to
23 million
check them
views.
out.
So someone's
heard of them
listening to
before.
them. Yeah, so they're doing pretty well. It's very rare that like a group wins show winner and we're all kind of like, maybe I gotta go listen to that, right? Real quick.
Yeah.
Very rare that happens. Also, I look at the ISNA Reddit once in a while because I'm in the ISNA, right? Right now, the ISNA fans are in the trenches calculating the probability of winning the first music show tomorrow. Like, they're like, well, who's our competition? What are the sales looking like?
Oh, wow.
So far, I've seen ISNA might win their first thing tomorrow, is what the Reddit's at least saying. The people calculating. Yeah. Like the top post on r/ISNA is the show, live voting and other awards, and people are analyzing if they're gonna win or not.
Damn.
That's kind of fun. I used to do that back in the day, and not now, but I used to do that. All right, that ends part 1. So just like episode 324, we'll be back after a short break. 3, 2, 1.
Hello, SojuTalk Nation. This is Anita here with a quick PSA. If you would like to support SojuTalk Kpop Podcast, please like, subscribe, or follow us on whatever platform you're using. And consider joining our Patreon at patreon.com/SojuTalk or donating to us at paypal.me/SojuTalk. On behalf of the crew and myself, thank you. Now back to our regularly scheduled episode.
All right, we are back at it. Part 2 of SojuTalk episode 324. There actually was not a lot of news this week for once, which is kind of, we're in like a lull, as I've stated. But let's go through it. So I forgot to mention this one last week. Warren mentioned this. I was like, what are you talking about? I went ahead and looked it up after the fact. I understand now. So NJZ's IG account changed its name to MHDHH_friends. Obviously, legally, they can't use NJZ right now because of the injunction lawsuit that happened. So they had to change it to this. So they are right now MHDHH is the name of their group. Yeah.
Which stands for? Do we know what it stands for?
Yeah, it
all their
stands for
names.
Minji, Hani, Danielle, Harry, and
Okay.
Yeah.
I see.
Yeah, so as we know right now, that's them. That's what they are because they can't legally use NGZ. But yeah, that's all about. That's literally. I know it was Danielle's birthday. Happy birthday to her. That's all that happened this week for them. So yay.
Okay.
Let's keep going. Kakao intends to sell Kakao Entertainment. The decision was made due to the stagnation IP conditions, making it difficult to receive proper corporate valuation to go public. Kakao's current valuation is said to be around 11 trillion won. So the TLDR on why they're selling is Kakao Entertainment failed to go public as a company, so Kakao was going to sell the management rights. And this person, TMI K-pop, who's a very notable person who posts a lot of articles, they said a lot of people are probably wondering about Hybe, and they don't think Hybe would be able to buy it because it would probably be a monopoly situation with the Fair Trade Commission. So it's kind of hard to sell an asset this big, right? But it seems like they're going to try. So this signals that Kakao wants to get out of like the K-pop game as it stands.
Well, the word on the block is that they sent requests for proposals on purchases towards Anchor Equity Partners, the Saudi Arabian National Fund, the PIF, the Singapore Investment Agency, GIC, etc., etc. So we're talking about some of the big boys, you know, not just folks like Hybe. Now, Kakao Entertainment might seem like it's just a couple K-pop companies.
No, it's humongous. It's humongous.
Big. Like, I'm not just talking about K-pop big. We're talking about like they are heavily involved in like 3 different industries in Korea. Like they have a whole. They're very active in like actors, filming, you know, video content creation. You know, YouTube, that sort of thing. And then you got the music stuff, you know, they got, you know, they got music labels, publishers, they got a fucking streaming platform. You got the entire cycle there, you know. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. You tell me. But, you know, they got like production labels, as in like producing shows, that sort of thing. And then they have they also have this whole like webtoon, web novel part of their company, which is also like, it's not small, don't get me wrong, this shit is big too, you know. Kakao Story is a huge monster in that sort of they have Melon, right? Melon is, you know, obviously a streaming you know, and a publishing thing. They're very involved. This is not just, and like as TMI K-pop has mentioned here, Dolphiner is one of those. Like this is big, you know what I mean? It is not gonna be easy, is what I'll say. Like, there's very few individuals who could like actually buy this, right? Like it's billions of dollars. I don't know. Maybe it's the time for we actually finally get a Saudi Arabian.
It could happen.
Yeah. So as it stands, Kakao owns 66% of Kakao Entertainment. Kakao Entertainment, though, they own like 20% of SM. So Kakao itself owns a little more than that, but the entertainment owns 20% of SM. Also, some notable labels you'll probably know is Antenna, Edam, which is IU, High Up, Starship. They even own that Dolphiners Films, the one in the New Jeans lawsuit. They own that. Like, it's crazy what they're trying to sell, this giant ass entertainment monolith, right? And there's very few people who could actually afford this. So we're gonna have to see what happens.
I mean, the honest answer is it's not too surprising. Like, the core of Kakao has always been that it is a tech startup, which decided it needs to, you know, kind of do everything for whatever fucking reason. A lot of these companies that we just mentioned, obviously Kakao Entertainment didn't make it. They didn't found any of this. Even the web novel platform I talked about earlier was something else to be, I don't know what. It was something previously else, and SM at some point.
It was
Kakao at some point.
It was Down Webtoon.
Yes, I'm sorry, I meant the web novel thing.
Oh, the one. No, never mind.
Yeah. But yes, down Webtoon too. Like these, but well, that was a part of the down deal, not the individual deals they did. What I'm trying to say is Kakao went on to buy up all these small companies, and at a certain point, you hit a limit. You see that profit kind of wean a little bit. So the answer becomes either you keep buying more small companies, or you wrap it up at some point, give its own little thing, or you sell it. That's typically how this goes. So here we are.
Yeah, this is gonna be interesting to say the least, right? Like, this is gonna be there's gonna have a lot of implications down the line for a lot of companies and artists you are aware of. We're just on the sidelines. We'll see what happens, but it's kind of big when one of so we don't consider like Kakao Entertainment in like one of the K-pop giant things, but it is one of the giant things.
Yeah.
It's just kind of there though. But we don't consider it like Hybe, SM, JYP like an individual company, but it is one of the giant umbrellas that exists within K-pop for sure.
I am reading into this at the moment. Apparently, CEO Chung at a Kakao company-wide conference call in August last year said everything that is not related directly to Kakao Talk or artificial intelligence is going to start becoming more optimized for efficiency, which we know all is like it's corporate speak for we're gonna fucking get rid of it, cut it, that sort of thing. So here we are. It's on the butcher block. Buy it if you have too much money.
I wouldn't be surprised if IU just buys Edam from them and just runs it herself. Then that wouldn't surprise me down the line.
They're gonna split apart. Yeah.
Yeah, it wouldn't be, but we'll see. Let's keep going. Next one, Blackpink reportedly make the long-awaited comeback in June with the new album.
Ooh.
So we're looking like it's gonna happen in June.
That's
they
close.
were at Coachella this week, right? Who performed? Was it Jenny? I think performed.
Isn't it Jenny?
Yeah, Jenny. I think both of them performed, but they also Rose was there too. She was hanging out. I saw that as well.
Yeah,
they had a meetup at Coachella. Maybe they heard Bernie Sanders speak or something because he made an appearance at Coachella too.
Yeah,
which is kind of crazy. But hey, Blackpink, June, it's happening. This is gonna be a giant event for sure. There's gonna be a lot of expectations.
It's gonna be a Blackpink summer.
Ooh.
Next, we have a bunch of like surprised reunions. So Momoland reuniting under Inyeon Entertainment for group activities.
Ooh.
Oh.
So we got Momoland. So you're like,
Liking
okay, they haven't been gone for too long. But then this group, I don't know how many of you youngins know who they are. After 6 years, Fiesta is going to re-promote as a group.
Oh.
The group is preparing for a remake album, which will include remakes of their debut song.
Wow. Okay.
Oh.
They got a new
really
profile
liked them in
picture.
the beginning. Yeah.
Yeah, Anita and I, that was one of the first groups Anita and I used to talk about was Fiesta and how we liked them. Like Vista, that was one of the songs Anita and I both love a lot.
Song.
Wow.
Hey, the girls of Fiesta are like, they gotta be up in age now, right? Yeah, Chao Lu's like 37.
You're correct.
Damn.
She is 37. She was born in 1987.
Wow.
I remember being
back.
I was a huge Chao Lu fan. I thought she was really funny when she was like popping off.
Yeah, she was.
So yeah, Fiesta and Momoland. Maybe let's thing. Momoland finally is free of what was the godforsaken company they were in? MLD Entertainment, right?
Which was short for Momoland.
I beg them not to release just another techno song. Please, let's do something else.
We'll see.
You know what I mean, guys. Let's not release another. What was the one that went really popular?
Bam, bam, boom, boom.
Yeah.
Bam, 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 bam. Inyeon. Bam, 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 bam.
Yeah, let's just not do another boom boom, please. I'm begging you. Next, Highlight has reintroduced Beast after regaining the trademarks from Cube.
What?
What's happening?
What is going on here?
I know today's career, like, there's not a lot of news, but a lot of it's just like, really? They got the name back? Yeah.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, good
Cube
for them.
held on. I remember when it happened, it felt like Cube were being assholes about it and kept the name, right? But hey, this happened in like 2016. They haven't had the name for 9 years, but they got it back now.
Wow. Okay.
We don't know if they will be promoting as Beast, but we'll see. But they got it. That's cool. Also, next thing, Crystal said she's working from FX is working on a debut album.
What?
Yeah.
What?
That's cool.
Okay.
I haven't heard from her
But
in a long time.
She's in that one company we talk about once in a while, right?
She's in Bana, Beats and Natives.
Yeah. People said knowing Bana, the number one comment was knowing Bana, this shit won't be out for 3 years. Is what people were saying.
That's what I was saying. Yeah, she's gonna wrap. She's gonna finish working on it, and she's gonna be like, "Yeah, I finished it. I don't know where it is." 3 years later, she's gonna be like, "Actually, it's dropping next week. I didn't know. I just found out, and it's gonna be here." This is what typically happens with this fucking company.
But yeah, that's apparently happening in the works. So next one, P Nation unveils the P Girls. Let's not keep that name, guys. At their monthly evaluation video. So there's 4 girls here, right? People thought this video was very pre-debut Blackpink-esque, is what people were saying. But they're starting to hype up the group. Anita, also, people saw the girl trainees walking around, right, in the street. They believe one of the girls is Fuko.
Huh?
There's reason to believe that one of the girls is Fuko, who's gonna debut in this group.
That's
Interesting.
okay.
Okay.
Did not expect that.
The rumors are that
Right.
Fuko and Ling Ling, who's also from Island, are going to be in this group. That's the rumors. We'll have to see if they're true. But at least we know that they're starting to tease the debut of the P Nation girl group. So that would be pretty interesting.
Okay. We'll be looking out for that.
Next one. So Red Velvet's Yeti is reportedly in talks to sign with Blitzway Studio.
Oh.
So I do not know this company, but that is who she is reportedly might be signing with.
I can look it up. Blitzway, you said?
Yeah, Blitzway.
All right, Blitzway Studio. They do have a NamuWiki page. They are, they make figures.
That's what I'm looking at their thing too. They make figures, right?
Really good looking figurines, by the way. Like, don't get me wrong.
They're like the hyper realistic ones.
Yeah, like hyper realistic Michael Jackson figure or like The Witcher figure. Okay.
Well, they did acquire something called H&N Entertainment, so they bought a entertainment division. It seems.
Okay. Okay. They do have a bit of a lineup at their entertainment label. I'm seeing the actor Ju Ji-hoon. You know, I'm also seeing Crystal was here before she went to Bana.
Okay.
Do you guys remember Sondanbi?
Yeah.
She's here. The mother of all actresses, Ko Do-sim, is here.
Okay, so there's some decent names here.
Yeah.
Okay.
Hey. Yeah, let's keep going. That's happening there. We also have Girls' Generation Sunny. She left SM, right? Like, it must have been awkward after the whole situation with her family. But she signed a contract with A20 Entertainment. They said she is designing the training program for A20 trainees, providing psychological care, producing video content, and offering guidance on styling and choreography. So it seems like she's not only there to just be a talent, but she's there to give as like a consultant as well, more or less, to this company. Which, you know what? It kind of makes sense. You have this really veteran idol. I'm sure she has info that could help you with your upcoming idol things, right?
Just for context, the 820 is also the company that houses the former lead SM producer Yu Young-jin as well.
This makes even more sense now. So the founder is Isuman of this company, by the way.
Yes.
Okay. Well, you know that.
Okay.
It's obvious now.
And he's skirting the rules because it's based in Los Angeles. That's how he's skirting the anti-compete stuff with Korea.
I see now. His official office is 6060 Hollywood Boulevard, LA, California.
Okay, this makes way more sense now, does it not?
All right. Okay. All right. Well.
All right. So she's basically consulting for her uncles and her like producing uncles, this new company, right? Like, okay, that makes sense. It makes sense. I mean, you remember we stated like earlier in the year or last year that she was seen in China with Isuman and the trainees and stuff like that. So I guess it's official now. Next thing. Astro announces concert together with former member Rocky.
Oh.
Aw,
Wow.
that's good.
Wow.
That's good for them. That's awesome. Next thing. Irene and Sugi. So right now they announced that they're doing a tour just in Asia, but who sees? Maybe we'll get it overseas. Well, maybe outside of Asia, but we're getting Irene Sugi concerts.
Nice.
That's happening. I'm going to assume that means we're gonna get some kind of release from them somewhat soon. I would guess. One would think. Next thing,
Possibly.
an Hypin World Tour in the US and Europe. Excited about that. You can go to that. We also got CIX in Europe and North America. If you want to go see that. And that's all the news I have. The last thing I have is just something that I stumbled upon. I don't think it was covered too much in the news, but it was pretty wild. So we had the whole pre-debut using the N-word stuff come out, right? And people with that YG leakers, and that's all people have been talking about. Then we had the Kiss of Life situation. People were not happy about that. Another one of these things happened. So
Oh,
Oh boy.
BM from Card was on TikTok Live, right? He was playing some songs, including one by DMX, the rapper. Rest in peace, DMX. You know. He was like humming, mumbling some of the words, and one of the words was the N-word, right? And people were not happy about that. They started saying, "What are you doing? Are you dumb? Why are we doing this?" So he came back on TikTok Live, and he took accountability for his actions, which is good. But then he invited fans, especially black viewers, to confront him directly and share how his actions made them feel. So essentially, at one point, he was inviting fans to be in one-on-one calls with him and express how they feel about him using the N-word.
wow.
Well, okay. That's not a PR
Well, this was
move I've seen
necessary,
before.
but yeah.
I've never seen this kind of this situation before, but it happened. There's like these videos online of these just normal people saying like, you know, you shouldn't use it because X, Y, and Z. It's hurtful because of X, Y, and Z. And honestly, he's taking it, you know? But like, I've never seen this happen before in my life.
Well,
You know, for better or for worse, I do think this is, I'm going to interpret this as like, you know, he's owning up to what he did. Whether you accept it or not, that's up to you. But like, at least he's addressed it very directly. This is as direct
Very
as it
quickly.
gets. Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, so that happened. Lastly, so that was all the news. Next week in terms of music, Odd Youth, Eunice, Highlight pre-release. We're gonna have to see if they're Highlight or Beast now though. TIOT, A Pink Anniversary, they release one of those anniversary songs every year. Big Ocean, Chu, Kai, To Us. Those last three seem kind of big. And by the way, Chu's about to appear in Devil's Plan Season 2, which is gonna air sometime this spring or summer. Kyuhyun, it's one of those smart person competition shows. It's crazy because Kyuhyun's the other main celebrity who's appearing, but then the main famous celebrity, is there a celebrity? Lee Se-dol, the Baduk player, is appearing on that show too. So he's the guy who versed AlphaGo back in the day. So it's gonna be wild. You got Chu and Lee Se-dol are gonna team up to beat other people with their smarts. So be on the lookout for that. But we're gonna pivot now to the Red Velvet thing.
Red Velvet, Soju Bomb. If you are on YouTube, we have a separate video for that. Go check out, flip to that other video. This is the end of this video. I'll see you there.
All right, this is the Red Velvet Soju Bomb Part 1. We covered the Seraphim songs last week. We're gonna do a 2-week Red Velvet.